So today has been long awaited. I thought those were spiders. My set spanner wrenches came in the mail. Hopefully these are good enough to raise these coilovers in the back. I've been waiting on these, not just for this car, but for this car too, because this one scrapes on everything. So I'm gonna raise this one up off camera because the channel's not about this one. It's about this one. For this one, I'm gonna be raising the back as much as possible, making it even. And then hopefully this is the final day that I adjust stance and stuff. So I'm gonna be raising the back so that those can clear. And then for the front, I'm not gonna be raising it or anything because I already got hella gap. I'm going to trim the front bumper a little bit more, and I'm going to be probably trimming the back of the fenders a little bit just so that I can clear. I want to see how much I have to trim in order to get like full lock-to-lock clearance. That's what I'm doing. So it does help that I have the you can't really see them, the ISR angled front tension rods. So that's one way to make sure that I'm good, is to I think shorten the tension rods, which increases caster. And the more caster you have, the more clearance you'll get when turning, because it'll go positive camber the more you turn. So that's the first thing I'm gonna attempt. And then the second thing will be bashing out the back of the fender, because I know that's where it rubs. So we'll mess with that second. I'm gonna do the easy stuff first because I really want to know if these work or not. So I'm gonna go ahead and jack this thing up, and then we'll get started on this. As of right now, this is how it's looking, and the bigger problem is that right there. The other side is pretty fine. I just want to be sure, so I'll probably raise this side up a little bit more too, but we'll see how this goes. So just so for any guys that are curious about how to figure out where things are rubbing, all of the wear on this tire, or wear, haven't driven it at all, but there's this from the first time I had let the car down. So this has been fixed. This is a straight pattern all the way around. It is not super deep. Try to give you an example, but this is not part of the original tire pattern. This is being caused from that one. So that's the only thing that's rubbing on this tire at the current setup that it is now. So hopefully when I raise it, I won't have to worry about this because these tires are expensive. Okay, I think I'm just about done with this side. This is the spanner wrench that I was using. It's held up pretty fine. I was concerned about the tip breaking, but it hasn't broken, and it fits kind of snug in there and just clips on like that, and then you can just move this around as you please. Way better than the what I call hammer and chisel method. But originally I was gonna, like when I did the other side a couple videos ago, I was gonna try to raise it to 6 inches. This is how I'm measuring it, by the way. But that other side, the passenger side, is not at 6 inches and is fine. So I just am going to keep it at 5.5. And I'll make sure that the other side is even. Go ahead and lock this back up and then pop this wheel on. And we should have plenty of clearance after that. The other side probably just needs to be raised, I don't know, maybe like 3/4 of an inch to get to that 5.5, because I spent like all day hammering and chiseling at that side to get it higher than this side. This side I just didn't have the patience for it. So with that being said, I'll lock this up and then we'll switch sides just like that. So now this is good. Make sure that this is locked, and then put the wheel back on and see if this gets worse. Real quick before I put this tire back on, I just noticed this, another dead giveaway to finding out where your tires are rubbing. Right there. That's the rubber right there. Remember how I said it was right here? This is all the rubber that I am missing. So, in order to avoid me having to cut and trim and stuff even more, on top of that, already having the over fenders installed would make it a little more difficult room wise. So I'm just raising it up to match. But yeah, you see rubber stuff, that's probably where it's rubbing at. Driver's side, I only had to raise this one up a ½ inch, whereas the other one I had to raise up like 1.5 inches. But this side was already clearing everything, so that just goes to show that I'm trying to go the extra mile and make sure that it's really clearing everything, and the other side matches this. So we're gonna raise this one up, and then we're gonna drop them both to the ground and see how that clearance is. Okay, let's see how much clearance we have on this side. The other side is perfect. I got plenty of clearance on the other side, so let's drop it. Let's see what happens. That's a lot better than what it was. I'll show a little side thing from earlier just so you can see. Everywhere else, plenty of clearance, plenty of clearance, plenty of clearance. That was what I was worried about, and that is way better than before. Just so I can show you guys the other side. Like I said, the other side has plenty of clearance up top. I ain't even worried about it no more. So, backs are done. The only thing that the backs need now is a proper alignment, because this one has less camber, and I feel like this one has more toe in and more camber. So, definitely need a rear wheel alignment. On to the fronts. I jacked the car up. I gotta take it back down because I jacked it up and the freaking box is right that close to the wheel, so I can't fully see that side, and I can't fully turn this side the other way. But just to give a glimpse of how I'm doing this, so I got the whole front jacked up so I can turn the wheels and stuff. I know that it clears all the suspension parts, caliper, coilover. Actually, let me just double check that. But I'm pretty sure it clears the coilover. Maybe not. I might need a... Yeah, I think I'm gonna need a spacer here too. Yeah, I definitely need a spacer. That's probably what that noise is. I had a little bit of rub. Probably like a 10mm spacer and I'll be fine there. But, outside of that, this is probably gonna have to go. And let me show you why. It looks like the front is fine. It looks like the bumper that they already trimmed is good enough to clear this, but I can't know for sure. So with this side, if I push it back, you'll see that it's a rubbing over there, and that'll keep me from going full lock. So this is probably all gonna get cut out. I'm thinking about just cutting from there down, and then all of this. And then after I get past that point, I use the steering wheel. Nah, that sounds expensive. But at some point, I got it to go past this without really damaging the fender. There we go. And so once it gets past that point, this is full lock. So up here, I'm cool. And now you can see what I was talking about. Yeah, I definitely need a little bit of a spacer. But, and that's what I was talking about with the angled arms. So, at full lock, I'm good after I trim this. And then there is one spot on the back fender well that it hits. So, I don't know, because these are pretty short. So as far as adjusting caster, I think I'm all the way good on that. And so I might just go ahead and trim this, hammer that out, and then get out for these. Yeah, I definitely need like a little spacer. I'm gonna see if I can grab a spacer from somebody today, like a 10 millimeter, because yeah, that's definitely rubbing. Didn't know that. Okay. But yeah, so I'm gonna lower this car, back it up a little bit, and we'll go from there. So it's the next day. Nobody was able to give me any 10 millimeter spacers off of Facebook Marketplace or anything local. So I did end up going to AutoZone, and they had these. And these are about, I think these are like 8 millimeters for like 18 bucks. I know they're not hub centric, which is what I would prefer, but I guess this would be something decent temporary, or to temporarily have until I until I buy 10 millimeter hub centric spacers for the front and they come in the mail. But I was able to buy this immediately. The hub centric spacers would have taken a week, and that would have been another week on top of video and all that stuff, so I didn't feel like doing that. I'll just buy them later. I really just want to know if it clears everything, and if it does, then I can use it to do all this stuff. Another reason why I'm not really caring about it too much is because it's this thin, and I already got the extended lugs studs. So it's this thin, and I got the extended studs with the open lug nuts, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. If this was like an inch thick, yeah, I would definitely not be running these. And I don't recommend running them if you have the option not to. I'm just doing it to make sure everything clears. So I'm gonna pop this stuff off and pop those on to see what happens, or see how it looks. So they do just slip on, but this is why you want hub centric ones, because they're not this loose. These are like universal ones. Hub centric ones will keep it locked right here. That way it's always centered and not, having play and stuff like this. So that's why hub centric spacers are always better than these universal ones. But like I said, this is only temporary till I get the other ones that come in the mail, and just to see what measurement I need to clear, because I mean, it's not rubbing too much, but I just want to see what measurement I need to clear. These are 8s, and I'll be ordering 10s. So if these clear that, then the 10s will be fine. And then also it'll give me the ability to go ahead and trim whatever's necessary to get full lock-to-lock clearance on the wheel. So let's just go ahead and put the wheel back on and see what this looks like. So with the 10 millimeter spacer on here, I can no longer turn it. So that's one thing. I put my hand back there to feel if it was clearing, and I couldn't see anything. Feel anything. So I'm just try to peek the camera back there and see. I need some flash. There we go. That does not seem to be rubbing. That looks like I ever so slightly am good. So a 10 millimeter would be fine. Let me get it off of this fender so I can roll it. Okay. And then it's still touching ever so much, but this will be fine temporarily. So the 10 millimeter spacer will definitely do it. I'll go ahead and order those and hope that they come in very soon. All right, so it looks like I might not need to bash this out. It's like barely touching this now, but I cut this much off, as you can see, compared to what was there before. And now if I turn full lock, I clear everything. This is full lock, and it doesn't seem like this is rubbing on anything back there. Let's see if I can get this in there to see. So I don't see it rubbing on anything. That's the spot that I thought it was rubbing at too. Here, maybe I can go underneath. But I think I might be good. Yeah, looks like I'm good. So it's really just a spacer, which is probably what that noise was. I thought it was hitting the back of the fender well. A lot of caster and proper trimming. Now I don't know if it'll clear the front. I'm pretty sure it'll clear the front. Now this is how the bumper came, because it came off of a drift car. I don't know if I put that in the video or not when I got it. I'll drop a picture of that. But it came off a drift car. They already trimmed the bumper to clear for the Wise Fab kit that they had on there. So I don't think I need to do anything, because just look at this amount of space that's already there. So I do have to get the car off the jack stands and move it back so I can turn it the opposite way. But it looks like I'm gonna be good. And I already went ahead and ordered my hub-centric spacers. They're not gonna be 10 millimeter, they're gonna be 12, because I couldn't find one for 10 millimeters. There was hub-centric that I would get in time, but I should get that Friday, so that'll be the final thing. But I think I should be good. Hopefully that extra, what is these? These are 8s. 9, 10, 11, 12. So hopefully that extra 4 millimeters doesn't make me have to trim any more of the fender and keep it from hitting it back there, but we'll see. Okay, back the car up, got it jacked up. I got plenty of space out here, so I should be able to turn it full lock to lock. Let's go ahead and test that theory. If anything, it'll be this side, but I doubt that. I feel like I got the space for it. Let's give it a shake. Okay, got wood behind there and the e-brake up just in case. Always be safe, guys. But yeah, that's full lock on the right. So I'm good at that. Oh, I forgot key. Let's unlock that. So I just hear rubbing on the other side. That's full lock, and I didn't touch a dang thing. And that's where those arms come in place. You see that extra angle right there for clearance? ISR tension rod pro angled if you're gonna go wide. So this one clears. So I just got to put the spacer on the other side, which means that definitely, yeah, it looks good. Which means that definitely the 12 millimeter spacer that I just ordered is definitely gonna clear, make that look a whole lot better, and we'll be good. That'll probably be the last part of this video that I make when I put the 12 millimeter spacer on there. I think another thing that I might do while I'm at it, and since I have the wrenches, is lower it just to get that, you know. I mean, I gotta have the monsters in the back, so I might as well complete the whole rake look and lower this so that the fender is a little bit closer. But I'm gonna lower it based on how this gets at full lock, because I still want to be able to turn without rubbing the fender. So I'd say about an inch. I'll do 1.5 inches, because I'm thinking about this piece right here. So maybe 1.5 inches. Originally I was gonna say 2 inches. It didn't get nowhere near this. Okay, maybe 2 inches. Let's see. I'll do 1.5 inches first, see how that looks, and then 2 inches. But let me go ahead and pop this other one off, get that spacer on there, and get the trimming up this side. Yeah. And again, what I did was I went from here straight down to right here, and then I cut over to about here and then off. and that's what got me the clearance I needed. So did cut this part off. I was able to get it in 2 pieces this time, so I should, theoretically speaking, have full lock-to-lock clearance. And this wheel wasn't really rubbing like the other one was. Like, I barely needed a spacer at all for this one. As you can see, there's no rubbing up here, so it was all on the other side. I think that might be because the caster being different, but we'll see. I'm gonna put this back on, go lock to lock, and see if I have any bumps or stuff. Trying to figure out, is this coming out of there? It's just not tight. All right, so I cleared everything. I hammered this side out a little bit, but I don't think I was really doing that much, and I'm not sure if I need to. So I'm gonna lower this thing off the jack stands and go around this little storage unit, take it for a little test drive, see if it rubs on anything when I'm turning. I did lower the wheels, the coils in the front by 1 inch to kind of get better fitment. Is way better than the gap I had. May or may not lower it another 1/2 inch, but I'll think about that. Same thing for this side. So, let me just get this stuff off the car, get it down, and then go around this thing, see if it rubs anywhere that catches my attention. Also, I may or may not need a power steering rack because this is fresh. As you can see, it's still dripping. That one's old, this is fresh, and it's coming from the inner tie rod on this side. I used to think that it was coming out of my Chase Bay's power steering kit, like the lines and stuff on the bottom, but no, it's coming out that line. I mean, that inner tie rod. So I don't know if I need, because I tightened the inner tie rod as much as possible. So I don't know if I need a new rack or not. If I do, that's really gonna suck. And yeah. So let me go ahead and get this thing down, and we'll see what happens. So guys, I got it out the garage. Fitment and stuff like that is cool. The fronts are fine. This is the rear. While it's compressed, and I still got room all the way around on this side at least. This side isn't compressed. So that's cool. But I got a new problem. Well, the one that I was talking about earlier. So I filled it up with power steering fluid while I was in there. Backed it out. Turned right to go forward. And turned left to back it up again so I can go that way. And by that time, I shot out all of the power steering fluid that I just put in. So I think, because it's all over, I think I need a new rack. Because it's coming out both tie rod ends, if you can see it. Which fucking sucks, because that's pretty hefty replacement. Well, I managed to get it back in here in the midst of it stalling out and dying, and then the battery wouldn't be able to start it up again, and then the power steering going out and all this types of stuff going on. I managed to get it in here. So this is how she sits. She clears. Full lock to lock, that's how you get it to happen. And now I gotta figure out how I'm gonna get a new power steering rack. But that's probably gonna be it. That might be it for a long time, due to how long it takes me to find a new racker and, you know, put it in and all that stuff. But yeah, so like, comment, subscribe, follow the build. Until next time.